All right. Hi, Aditi. Welcome to the Woman Next Door. Thank you so much, first of all, for agreeing to be the first guest on this podcast and trusting me with it. How is your weekend so far?
Good. It's a good week and looking like a good weekend so far.
Yeah, for the listeners' context, Aditi is from my postgrad college. She's a dear friend and one of the coolest people I have known or met in life so far. But that's not the reason why she's here because she's cool. She's here because she is a rock star entrepreneur. And let me tell you, Aditi, for someone who's always been in corporate, a part of me always thinks that I don't know how she does it. And you've been doing it continuously for as long as I remember. I mean, you have worked in your dad's business and then you started your own venture. Then you moved to, I don't know, how many businesses have you been running all this while? And by the way, guys, we did our postgrad in 2015. So I am talking about a long time, and this woman is at it continuously. And it takes a lot of patience and perseverance. I'm making it all very serious, but then it is serious because it takes a lot of grit to, stick to this. Over to you, Aditi. Just
Thank you so much, Anukriti.
yeah.
You've just made me sound really good, okay? But I think the grass always looks greener on the other side. I always also kind of think that how is it that, the commitment that a job requires, honestly, and I'm not saying entrepreneurship is easy or difficult or anything, but yeah, to be out there for so many things, it's equally it has its own challenges, and I think hats off to you also that you've been sticking around with so many things and while doing this and while raising a kid as well. So that's amazing. Kudos to all the women out there, who are doing this for sure. Thank you so much for having me here. I think I'm looking forward to also see where this goes. I loved the previous episodes you did. It was really good hearing and very relatable. I literally went back 3 years in time and started feeling all of those things when I was also pregnant and managing a lot of things at my end. But yes, it's been a journey of sorts.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm so glad that it resonated with you because that was the intention from the get go. Coming back to you and why you are here. So, today's topic, so as everyone would have guessed, is entrepreneurship, and especially for a woman to be an entrepreneur in India. I want to still start from when I didn't know you. How were your formative years? And if there is any recollection of any distinct events that you think have shaped you into taking this decision of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, Anukriti. So it's it's actually a very odd kickstart journey, I would say, because I actually didn't get admission in colleges in Calcutta over here because I completed my schooling from an international board, and at in those days there was nothing called provisional admission because my results came out later, and I had to go with the college that had at hand and had to opt for finance. Did my BCom honors in finance, and I'm not a finance person. I didn't even take up accounting in my last years of school. But when that happened, I was like, okay, I have to do this because I have to do it. But my heart was always into marketing and advertising, and I knew that that is where I want to be as well, while kind of helping my dad out in his business. So I think that journey started off when I was in school. I've always had that mindset, or rather the go get attitude of always trying to do something, whether it works or not is very secondary. I That's not what I really think about, but it's just about trying and doing it. So that's where it started off. Then I did my undergraduation in finance, but immediately as soon as I got the opportunity to pursue marketing and advertising, I did, and that gave me an opportunity to work with Lintus in the first leg. And that's when I realized that, okay, yeah, this has my heart and this has my calling. Coincidentally, then I got a call from KJ Sumaya, did my MBA, and it was a very strategic decision to choose between communication or retail because I realized that no matter what I do in life, no matter what, everything is buying and selling. which is retail. So I was like, okay, I think it's the universe's way of just chalking that path out to me. And I just went with the belief as well. So while that continued, I pursued the education, but I was also simultaneously still working with my dad. And that's when, I realized and I identified that, okay, you know what? I don't think I want to, when I have an advantage, I would say, to take this step with what is available with me, I do that rather than go in for a job where there may be a lot of ifs, buts, and risks, which is also involved in this front as well. But I had a background in already pursuing that to a tad bit. My hands were already a little bit dirty. So, so that's why I took the decision to do that. And also, I think what overlapped were some personal losses that came our way, which kind of pushed me to be with my family more than choose would only and only be good for me. That's what I prioritize. And yeah, I still think about it that what if, I did take up a job at that time? Maybe I would have been at a different stage and a different place now as compared to what I'm already doing. So, like I said, the grass always looks greener. But yeah, I think that's how the journey started. It was a lot of it was a lot of questions and a lot of dilemma initially, especially when you're just entering that whole, adulting, as they say, right? When you just entering that zone, and yeah, I didn't know, like, I wasn't sure about where I'm really going to land up or end up. But yes, this is how it started, and then it was just like one stint after the other that gave me, I would say, it just gave me an adrenaline rush to keep doing something new, experimenting, reinventing the wheel. And that's kind of what got me to this stage as well now. That yeah, after working in the travel agency, trying to launch the online version, then launching my marketing agency. We're going to be completing 10 years this year for Sticky Pins. Yeah, we've seen all the transitions. Thank you so much, Anukriti. Seen all the transitions of um, in office, scaling up the team, COVID and pandemic hit remotely, and shifting to another city now and doing this. So
Come to that.
stuck around, sticking around, and still pulling through. So yeah, and then then what really pushed me was the fact that I think the people around me also, I was so fortunate enough, and I still am, I believe, that I kept getting opportunities. Now it was just a decision that was in my hands, that whether I really wanted to do this or not.
Okay. Staying on the same background part, Aditi, do you think it helps if your parents, or in your case, like your dad had a business already? So do you think it's easier for children of entrepreneurs to pick up entrepreneurship naturally? Or you think otherwise? Because it's all the more pressure that you have to go into this space. And then at some point, you have to prove yourself that, okay, you can carve your own identity and you can pull this together yourself.
Absolutely. So I don't think there's a right or wrong here, Anukriti, honestly, because it's more of an individual trait. Either you choose to take that step, whether you have backing or not, or you don't. Or maybe you just want, like, in today's time, the number of first generation entrepreneurs we see is and succeeding successfully is not even, like, you can't even keep a track of where they came from and what they've done in the past or who's done what. But that being said, I don't think I think I was always that kind of person that, just like you mentioned, I just always had that high energy, um, you know, thresholding me to always do something new and try to build something. In fact, the first business that I really launched was with another school friend of mine in school, where we actually made greeting cards. We had a company name, we designed those greeting cards, and we sold it to people in the building. So I think the journey started way back, but yes, we still recall those days without a doubt. But yeah, that being said, coming from a, generational family business has nothing to do with whether you really want to be there or not, and I think that's very important as well. My brother has not stepped into taking this up. He's working in a corporate 9 to 5 completely, and he has no intention of coming back to this big at all. Whereas I, on the other side, have thought otherwise. But yeah, so I think it's very individualistic. It's very it's a trait that one would choose for themselves rather than hopefully not be forcefully pulled into or pushed into. That wasn't the case for us. So I mean, yeah, I'll give that to my parents for sure. They would say,
Credits
okay.
to your parents for not putting that pressure, because there's always that sense of, so whether it's a girl or a boy, if there is a legacy which is already there, the pressure is always to continue it. So Aditi, we spoke about you helping your dad in his business with Just Fly. Then you launched your own marketing agency with Sticky Pins. And then you had your hand at hospitality industry as well. And then you moved into the most difficult perhaps, which is the retail space with your fragrances and the personal care brand, Avyu. Tell me about it. How has this journey been from one business to the other? And if there are specifics that you want to talk about of each of these businesses in terms of your learnings and any lessons that you may have.
The biggest one has definitely been the marketing agency Sticky Pins. So that has, because I've been so committed to it in so many ways. And that's where my heart has always been, in advertising, in marketing, in putting the word out for other brands. I realized that it's it's one thing to start something, but it's a whole another ball game to really make sure that you keep the show running.
Yeah.
You have to wake up in the morning with the same amount of commitment every single day, no matter what crosses your mind. And if, like, I think there are so many days where of course, we've all had bad days and good days, but those bad days can be so bad, like, you're just like, what am I even doing? Should I just shut everything off?
Yeah.
And that's for you to then handle and take. No one can help you out in this, Anukriti. That's what I realized, that there can be experts, there can be people, there can be your team, there can be family, friends, anyone and everyone who can come and tell you that, hey, you know what, you're doing well, it's okay. You have a bad day here and there. But at the end of the day, you have to be sure what you want to do. If you think that, your heart is not there anymore, there's no point of pulling through. You might last for another, say, 2 weeks, but after that, you still not want to do it. So I think Sticky Pins really made me understand the value of commitment and that constant day on day love for what you do
Yeah.
is something that I realized over time. And with that, whenever there were opportunities coming in, so whenever I had like an opportunity to again start a new venture or get into something, the task, or rather the questions to ask myself, became a little easier. That was, how passionate are you about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how much can you give yourself to it?
Yeah.
Then the rest of it falls in place. So I think that's how I tackled and navigated through a lot of ventures. There have been other businesses also which I have been part of, which have not worked. So you pivot from there. You step back or you move out from there. Then after Sticky Pins, I think what came my way was definitely, as you mentioned, the fragrance and the personal care brand, that is Avyu, which is a recent stint only, like 3 years back. It actually, it's a passion driven project completely. So I would say, for in our view, more than the money, it's the emotions which are made out larger for me again, or a call that I had to take. I knew that, okay, fine, I have X amount that I want to put in, and either this works or this doesn't work. But what is that timeline
Yeah.
to give? The challenge over here was only the fact that it started, of course, when I got married, and it launched when I delivered a baby. So, I say that I've launched two babies together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that showed me a completely different picture and perspective on
And has it been really difficult? Because I know that you started when you were single, then somewhere along the line you got married, you shifted cities, and then you became a mother. And all this while you were also dabbling your hand into different businesses. So has it been like at each life stage that you went through, was it difficult, or it's just who Aditi is? She can just do it all.
But I'd like to I tell myself when I look in the mirror that I can do it all, but honestly, it's been difficult as hell. Okay, I will not lie. And that's what we're here for, to speak the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really difficult. I think I have been a relatively strong person throughout, especially with, in these matters in the initial times, but I cannot say that anymore, especially in the last 5 years. It's been a really, really tough ride to manage so many things together, especially when it comes to being a mother, I would say. The transition from single to being married, I think that's a joyride. You've chosen that life, and you've chosen a partner who you know would be there for you to do it along with you. But yeah, motherhood is something which is unexpected, I would say. There's another thing that we think we're getting into, but the reality is different every single day,
Yeah.
at least so far.
Yeah. It's the most unpredictable times of our life where you just plan your day and then something happens and then you have to pivot everything into thinking, creating a new plan altogether. So, and with entrepreneurship, that is something which is equally unexpected in terms of its own twists and turns. So, you managing it, and I'm sure with a tribe of all the supportive people from parents to your partner to your family, you're doing it really well. Because I know that if it was not going in a way that it was manageable, you wouldn't have continued and started another ventures 3 years back. So, yeah, kudos to you and to all the people who are supporting you.
You got to do what you got to do, and as long as you're doing it, makes
Yeah.
all the difference.
Yeah.
The day you feel like it, like I mentioned, that the day you feel like your heart is not there and you're not enjoying it as much anymore,
Yeah.
you stop.
Is it difficult for women to start a business in India? And I'm talking about today's India, where there's technology, where there's a lot of government initiatives supporting women entrepreneurs. There are programs from colleges within India supporting a lot of women entrepreneurship programs. But in terms of the ecosystem, really, your banks or your own employees, is there a lot of judgment into perceiving women CEOs or women business drivers? What's your thought on that?
Absolutely, Anukriti. I think that's a great question. So initially, I would say 10 years back when I started off, of course, the process and the system remains the same. The opportunities have just gotten better for women with
Okay.
the kind of support we've got. What maybe still remains the same, and this is specifically because you asked, women entrepreneurs or women starting businesses in India, particularly.
Yeah.
The challenge lies more on the mindset and approach. I still remember there was this meeting I went for, and it was a relatively large corporate, healthcare corporate that I got the opportunity for. The guy heard me out. He was a senior level marketing professional. He heard me out. He liked my pitch. He asked me questions. And he asked me all the right questions without doubt. And when I was feeling confident and pretty motivated on the fact that, hey, you know what, I think we're going to back this. When I asked for his input, and he just turned around and he said that, I think you're too young to handle my brand. And it was the first time that had happened to me. I was shocked to hear that. But the second I left the meeting room, it just left me with the thought that this is a mindset which will take too long to change.
Yeah.
But would I want to stop or steer my direction? No. I would still keep trying. I would still keep moving forward. I'd
Yeah.
let my work speak for me.
Yeah.
So, from an ecosystem point of view, 100% things have gotten better. Be it banks, be it the government, be it regulatories to set up.
Yeah.
And I would say that because there are so many, so like it's so easy to go out there and approach. Like, say for example, I want to set up a new business. I have to find the right financial advisor, the right C
Yeah.
to help
Yeah.
me set this up.
Yeah.
I think that approachability is available now at ease. There
Yeah.
are so many funding options. Um, a lot of platforms, not naming any right now. The funding, I would say, belt or approach is equal. Whether you're a male entrepreneur or a female entrepreneur.
Okay.
What really needs a change and what the challenge is still the mindset. It's shifted from an ecosystem point of view, but has it really shifted from an acceptance point of view is still a question that is being answered. And yeah, I think that being said, you still hold your ground. You still know that you're the one to hold the fort and keep
Yeah.
moving forward and make this work. But yeah, if you believe that yes, there is some, if you believe in your idea and if you believe in your venture, I would 100% encourage anyone and everyone to take the first step and move forward. Let the challenges follow through. Let it come until unless you absolutely don't hit roadblock anywhere. And still, there will always be a way to kind of find and navigate around it. Even like the ecosystem's built in that way on the technical front to provide support and on the emotional front to fight through it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it'll only change with more women entrepreneurs, isn't it? That's how, with more of us will be there on the table, commanding the seat.
Yes,
That's how
absolutely.
things will change in both the technical aspects of it as well as the acceptance from just emotionally perceiving that, okay, yeah, they are the owners. So give
Right.
the equal support, yeah, trust them equally with your money in terms of lending for that matter. And yeah, they are entrepreneurs. They are not women entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs, isn't it?
Entrepreneurs. Exactly, exactly. That's very true. That's so true. And you mentioned seed. So I definitely like to share across as well that it's that being said that when you're working with a team, especially being a woman entrepreneur, you're hiring women as well as men
Yeah.
and all age groups,
Yeah.
younger, maybe the same, older.
Mm.
That boils down to the kind of like the leadership style that you want to inculcate as well. There are businesses which require authority, which require hierarchy, which require that autocratic style
Yeah.
of leading,
Yeah.
irrespective of whether you're a woman or not,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when in the entrepreneurship segment, I would say.
Yeah.
And then there is another style where you work together, you work more collaboratively.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's looked upon irrespective of what your gender is. So like you mentioned, that as long as you're an entrepreneur and not just feeling like a woman entrepreneur,
Yeah.
it's all about building that equality and that space for yourself.
Yeah.
Own it. That's it.
All right. I think I'll just close the recording. So, last question. What advice would you give to yourself or to the 22-year-old Aditi when she was starting a new business and she was thinking that should I start something of my own? No, having run businesses for 10 years now, having built teams over this period, having gone through so many life stages in this period, what is it that you would advise to that girl who had eyes full of dreams and perhaps some self doubt as well?
Again, I would say that just believe in yourself and do what you really want to do. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, for sure. This is something that has shaped me over the years as well. I've not been afraid of failure at all. Like, I know for a fact that tomorrow, if anything goes wrong and I have to pivot, I can do it with confidence and I will not struggle. Yes, I'll feel bad. I will. When we were transitioning from switching cities as well as switching from a in-office team to a remote team and then back to a remote team to an in-office team, and it just drains you out in so many ways, and you're raising a child along with this. You are pushed into that circle of self-doubt. But come what may, I think the only way to move forward is the fact that just be sure, just be sure that this is what you want to do. And in case it doesn't work, don't be afraid of that failure.
Yeah.
It's fine. Move away, move into something else. Choose another path because life is unpredictable. Your journey can change at any given point of time. I would definitely say just keep an open mind. I do speak to so many young entrepreneurs, Anukriti. I'm helping them out also launch and create and shape their businesses like how they want to in the smallest form possible because no one comes with a lot of like bags of money to just launch, right? So how to do this in the right way, I am trying to help them out as well. But yeah, that being said, I think these two things are really important that believe in yourself every single day and don't be afraid to pivot when you fail or when you think things are not working out.
Thank you so much, Aditi. I think we've had a long conversation about your entrepreneurship journey and through all the phases that you've gone through. I think this has been really great for me. And I'm so sure that even all the girls who are listening to this would be inspired. And I think the point that you made towards the end, which is overcoming that self doubt and always trusting in ourselves and not fearing failure, I think that's one thing that, because how many women entrepreneurs do you see in India? I mean, let's face it, there are the statistics around it. And because you're mentoring a lot of entrepreneurs as well, you would know this more than I do. It takes a lot of first risk taking ability. But I would say that amongst women, it's more of self doubt that at least I have, and I've seen it in other women as well. So I think the point that you made around promising yourself every single day that just trust yourself, I think that is something that will take everyone a very long way, and especially women, because that journey to take up entrepreneurship and defeat self doubt at every stage, not fearing failure, following your heart throughout, I think that's the one thing that we'll take away from today's session. Thank you. And bye for now. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Anukriti. I had a fantastic session with you. And I'm looking forward to a lot more episodes coming from you as well.